Hi guys, Eric from Caravans Coffs Coast. I'd want to firstly congratulate you. You're after buying an absolutely wonderful product. I'm very jealous. I wish it was me. Some of you may know me. Most of you would have probably bought this from me. But if we haven't met, look, anytime you pick up the phone, chances are we probably get to talk at some stage. Look, what we're going to be doing in this video is a refresher of the handover that you would have gotten in the yard. Look, I can't stress enough, you do have all your manuals. We do say, look, give them a read first. It'll save you ringing us with something that, you know, may be very simple and you might feel a little bit embarrassed about after the fact. You go, oh, that would have been very easy. So what we're going to do, we're going to take you through a big rundown of the van. We're going to do each appliance, we're going to run how it operates. We'll do your 12 volt, we'll do your plumbing, we'll do inside, we'll do outside. Okay, this is just a refresher, something to refer back to after the fact, that on a handover it can be quite overwhelming. There's a lot of information to take in, and look, this is just something that we're doing to, I suppose, help you along the way. Again, congratulations. Don't be afraid to pick up the phone if there's anything that you really are stuck on. We're more than happy to help. We're delighted to help. Look, we can't thank you enough for putting your faith in us, putting your faith in Titanium Caravans, picking the Southern Star brand for your van. You've got a long lot of years ahead of you of enjoyment, as long as your van is well looked after and you maintain it and treat it like the fantastic piece of kit that you're after buying. Well done. Right, what we're going to be doing is giving a run through on operating a Southern Star Hardcore. Doesn't matter if it's an 18 foot, 16 foot 6, 20 foot 6, 19 foot 6, it's all same. Okay, look, very first thing, open your door. This guy, probably the most important button in your caravan, that is your master 12 volt switch. It turns everything that's running on 12 volt apart from your fridge on and off. Simple. If you feel you've no power, lights aren't coming on, can't turn on your fan, first thing to check, this is your 12 volt switch. Okay, if you're going out for the day, if you're going out for the evening, turn all your lights off, bang. Fridge stays on, don't worry about your fridge, that's running on a separate system. That's your master 12 volt for lights, TV, stereo, your fan, your pump, okay, everything running off your battery. Okay, we'll show you how it all works inside your 12 volt system. Okay, flick your switch, lights come on. The very first thing, if you have any issue with anything, you find this in your van. This is your Bible. Everything in the van is run with instructions here. Okay, next thing, this guy, all your manuals are in that, in digital form, simple, plug it into a laptop, off you go. Warranty info, that's all in here too. Okay, your 12 volt system, what's running on that? Lights, everything under your cupboards, everything in your roof, your hatches, they're your lights, they're on your 12 volt system. Your fan, 12 volt. Your TV, 12 volt. And your stereo, which is always in the overhead cupboard above your range hood, 12 volt as well. Right, the operation of these, your lights, your main living area, switching is here. Your bathroom, switching is in the bathroom. And your bedroom area, switch is for your bedroom area, always above your bed. You have two reading lights, his and hers. And the third switch here, that's for your bathroom during the night. You also can turn off all your lights in one go with the off switch at your bed. These do have to come back on individually. Okay, one thing to keep in mind, because we do get calls about this after the fact, your overhead lights, they are on a two-way switch. You can turn them off from two places. You can turn them off here, or you can turn them off from a button that's on the light. One thing to keep in mind, if that button is pressed, this switch will not turn them back on. You have to work off this button if you've turned it off with that button. Okay. All these overhead reading lights, they are dimmable. You hold your finger on the button on the light. It'll dim the light to what you want. It saves that setting, so each time you turn it on and off, it stays at that. If you need to bring it back up and make it brighter, hold your finger back on, it comes back to where it started. Okay? Doesn't matter which light, be it in the ensuite, be it over the lounge, be it under your bed head, exact same lights, they're operating the same way. Okay, now the next thing, next to each side of your bed, again in the 12-volt system, you have these reading nooks. Okay, they have a 240 socket, and they also have your 12-volt double USB chargers plus a 12-volt point. Your USB chargers, there's two types. You've got a 2.1 amp and a 1 amp. Some smartphones, especially Samsung's, won't charge off the 1 amp. If you're finding that they're not charging, put it across into the 2.1. Next 12-volt thing we have is our Sirocco fan. Again, switch has to be on at the door. There's two buttons on a Sirocco fan. Top, bottom. Press the bottom button once, that's speed 1. Press it twice, speed 3. Press it a third time, top speed. Fourth time, off. Next one is our timer. Going to bed at night, you don't want to flatten your battery, you don't want your fan running all night. Press it once, fan will turn off after 3 hours. Twice, 6 hours, 9 hours, 12 hours, timer off. Very simple. Okay, you want to direct your fan. This switch here, that's a lock. Okay. Fan swings, want to lock it in place, flick that. During travel, what you want to do, get it back, make sure it's locked in so it's not swinging as you're driving. Right, next one. As we're here, operation of your TV and your aerial. This is to wind up your TV aerial. Don't overwind it. Keep it going until it stops. Don't force it. When your TV aerial is up, to get signal, the first thing you do, look out your door, look out your window, have a look at everybody else's aerial, which way is it pointing. Pull the gear down and twist to turn your aerial. Point it the same as everywhere else, good start. See what your neighbours are doing and go from there. Leads us on to the next part, which is the operation of your TV. The TV is on a swing arm. When you're traveling, we recommend take it down, put it under the cushions in your lounge, put it under the pillows under your bed, put it facing forward so that when you brake, it can't fall off the surface that it's on. To get your TV going, look in your overhead cupboard. There are 2 points. One is your aerial, the other one is your power. There's LED lights on one. The green LED light, that's your booster. If that's off, you're not going to get any signal. Doesn't matter how good you've pointed your aerial, you've got to have your booster on. The next one is the power for your TV. Simple 12-volt cigarette lighter point. Plug it in. If you don't get a red light, give it a push. 3 reasons that this won't work. 1, it's not plugged in far enough. These connections have to meet. You may have to give it a turn when it's in. And the other one is inside this, there's a fuse. If that fuse is blown, you won't get your red light. You can get the fuses from J-Car or any electronic shops. Once your TV is in, you've got your 2 lights going. You're going to have to learn to tune your TV. Every caravan park you go to, every spot you go, different signals. Okay, power on, menu, channel, auto search, enter, all. That's simple, just do it every time you pull up. You're never going to get the same signal in different spots, different towers, different signals. Okay, the next part of this is our fuses, right? They're very simple. When a fuse goes, the red light comes on. Okay, just to show you, consider that fuse blown, red light's on, you know which one it is. Right, leading on from that, the next thing is our plumbing display. So basically you have your fresh tanks and your grey water tanks. Your typical setup on a Southern Star van is that your freshwater tanks are balanced tanks. They drain and they fill at the same time. On this display here, inside outside, there are freshwater tanks, both full at the moment. Middle one is our grey. On the grey water tank you have an outlet. Your grey water tank will never fill unless your main grey water drain valve is closed. Okay, when that valve is closed and you're collecting water, your sinks, your washing machine and your shower will fill your grey water tank, and you'll see this display coming up. This is the operation of your hot water system. It's a 28-litre stainless steel tank. It runs on gas or it runs on electricity. To turn it on gas, flick the switch. The red LED light will flash while your hot water system is trying to light. When it lights, it goes solid and starts heating your water. Okay? If you're running it on electricity, it's as simple as that, turn it on. Whether it's gas or whether it's electricity, it takes between 20 to 40 minutes to heat up the 28 litres of hot water. One thing you may encounter, when you turn on your gas, it'll try to light. If that red LED stays off, what it means is that your hot water system is already hot. It's not lit. This one, it's a switch for your 12-volt water pump. Turn that on, power comes to the pump, your pump is pumping from your tanks, it's priming your lines. Draining your tanks. Stereo, again operated from here. To power on your stereo, holding the button, that's also your source button. It'll flick between Bluetooth, radio, USB, or top left hand corner, CD. And this is probably one of the most complicated parts of the van, is your 12-volt system, your battery, your chargers, your display. Okay, what's set up for your battery, your charger, your battery, your MPPT solar regulator, your DC to DC charger, they're very much set and forget. When you need to have a look at the state of your battery, what it's doing, the display is here, again above the range hood with your stereo, with your fuses, with your water. Okay, this guy, very simple. When you turn it on, it'll give you what the battery's at, 100%. You can flick left and right to see what the battery is doing, what power is coming in, what power is going out. Okay, what the voltage of the battery is. You can't do anything from here apart from flick left and right. It's not going to do anything to your battery. All you're doing is looking at where you're at. Okay, most complicated part of our 12-volt system is located under the seats in your hardcore vans. What we have under here is your 200 amp lithium battery, your DC to DC charger, MPPT solar regulator, and your standard 240 charger. Okay, this system, they can look different from van to van. It depends on what you've ordered. This is what's in our stock 19'6" hardcore at the moment. Again, can't stress it enough, this is set and forget, leave it alone. The only time you will need to come under here is if you are after discharging your battery below 20%. Okay, once it goes below 20, as a safety, so you don't damage the battery, your 12-volt system will automatically switch off. Battery will go into a sleep mode. The only way to get this back on, you have to turn off every single 12-volt piece of your van. Lights, TV, stereo, fan, pump, none of it can be working. And to get this back, you have to plug yourself into some form of charge. 240, plug in your generator or your car off the Anderson plug on the front. You have to have power coming to the battery to get it going. Instructions on getting a flat battery reset are on the battery. It's very simple. Everything off, charging on, some form of power coming into your van, and on the battery, underneath this flat panel, is your flat battery reset. Put your finger on that, hold it in for 10 to 20 seconds until the system kicks back in. Again, looking at what was in the overhead cupboard, your battery percentage is up there. Do not turn on any 12-volt units, lights, TV, stereo, fan, until your battery is back above 20%. It's that simple. It's the only thing you have to come under here for. The DC to DC MPPT solar charger, that's what's charging your battery from your 12-volt. Solar, Anderson plugs. This guy, which is your 40 amp standard charger, that's your 240 charger. This is your solar charger. Anderson plug, car. Again, set and forget.
Generator.
Right. If you want to run a generator, if you want to run a generator for your aircon, a 2.2 Honda will run the aircon, and anything above that. But with the smaller generators, 2.2, there is a limitation that only one thing can be ran, and if your aircon is running, this, your 240 charger, will also try to charge your battery from that generator. This charger, in conjunction with the aircon, can cause the system to trip, and you're not going to be able to run the aircon. Your 240 charger is plugged into a power point underneath here with a switch on it. To run your aircon off a generator on the 2.2 Honda, or generators 2 kVA 2.2, flick that switch, turn this off, or else your generator won't work. Once you get into the bigger generators, 2.4, 2.8, 3 kVA, you may be able to run this and that in conjunction with each other, but if you're getting tripping, turn that off while you're trying to run your aircon on a generator. Okay, so in the ATX, one of the big differences is the EnerDrive e-Power 2000 watt inverter with the RCD transfer switch. A lot of people are ordering these in their hardcores as well. Some people are putting them in their semi-off-roaders, but basically when we put in your e-Power inverter, it's mounted with your charging system underneath your seat. Okay, again, the e-Power inverter, it's very much a set and forget item. To operate it, everything again is in the range hood. So just over your range hood, everything is up there. Look, under the seat, simple, set and forget. Above your range hood is where you go playing it with your buttons and fiddling with your bits and pieces. Okay, right, to turn on the inverter, you have this square display, and it's as simple as hold it in, power on. How we install the e-Power 2000 watt inverters is quite simple. It's going to run 3 of the 4 240 volt items in the van that don't normally run unless you're in a caravan park or at home plugged into power. Now, when you're off grid, in most caravans, you cannot run your aircon, you cannot run your washing machine, you cannot run your microwave, and your sockets don't work. With the e-Power 2000 watt inverter, turn it on, everything will work apart from the aircon. Okay, that's a different system again. It's not an impossible thing to do. It can be done, but in this system with the 2000 watt inverter, that isn't something that's going to happen. Turn it on. You can now use your microwave. That powers on, it's running on your battery. You can use a washing machine. You can plug in a coffee machine. Okay. Now, 2000 watts, you have to have a look at the appliances that you're going to use, what usage they have. Okay. Hair dryers will typically work. Hair straighteners, apparently, I'll ask Andy, he uses them, but they get up over 2000 watts from what I know. Okay. Washing machine, yeah, great, works. We'll use a lot of water when you're off grid. Coffee machine, blessing. Microwave, very handy. Okay, plus your sockets. To turn it back off, it's as simple as holding the button. Easy. Okay, the next things we're going to have a look at are the appliances. We'll go through those one by one. We won't go into too much detail because we'll be here for the next 3 hours looking at the operations of them. Again, all your appliances, the manuals are in your Bible. They'll come with each fan. Okay, your aircon we'll start with. Typically, your aircon remote is going to be up next to your fire extinguisher just inside the door. The standard aircon that we put in is the Bel Air Houghton 3400 3.4 kilowatt. Look, the main thing with this is the settings. Okay, you've got cool, you've got heat, you've got dry, and you've got auto. Right? It's as simple as power it on with this. You're aiming for a small grey circle on your aircon. Okay, power on, mode on your remote. Flick between that, heat, cool, dry, auto. That's simple. Set your temperature, off you go. Okay, with the aircon, look in its lifetime and just to keep it all healthy and good and clean. When you're using your van a lot, you've got a filter. Take that off, give it a clean about once a week. It's just for dust and particles. Okay, when your van is in storage, it's a good idea every 6 months to jump in, run your aircon for half an hour, just to keep it going. It'll increase the longevity of your aircon unit. Okay. Again, in your Bible, the manual is there with all the operation of it. Okay, we have our microwave. Typical microwave, works the same as any other microwave. Again, manual is in your Bible. Cook, defrost, all the other bits and pieces that it does. Read your book. It's a microwave. Right, cooking. Every van, regardless of it being a semi-off-road, being a hardcore, they come with the same cooktop. The 20'6" and the 21'6" have an oven standard. It typically will go here. Unless you order an oven, it's not going to be in a 19'6", an 18-foot or a 16'6". They're all the same, 3 gas, 1 electric. There is safety settings in this, 2 of. 1 is your electric, 1 is your gas. Your lid, you'll hear a click, that's your electric setting. Your electric plate will not work if this is not back fully. Your second setting is your gas. Over here, when your lid is down, the gas cannot light. To run everything, you push in your dial, you turn it to where you want, and you light your clicker. Just pushing in, unlike some barbecues, it's not going to light unless you click your clicker. Very simple. Grill, exact same thing, push in, clicker, done, lit. Okay, the next thing we're going to look at are 3 more appliances. We've got our fridge, we're going to have a look at the washing machine, and we're going to have a look at the toilet and the operation of the toilet inside the van. Okay, with your fridge, in the hardcore models, we're running a 224 litre Domestic compressor fridge as standard. The operation of that is quite simple. It runs on 240 and it runs on battery. The fridge automatically flicks across to 240 when you're plugged in. As soon as you unplug your van, it'll go to battery. You don't have to do anything, it does it itself. To turn on your fridge, you hold in your button. It takes 5 to 10 seconds until the fridge kicks in. Okay, what our display is telling us, our fridge temperature, it's running on battery. That's simple. As soon as we turn on 240, the battery will disappear and you'll see that it's on power. Okay, settings. When you're going to go through your settings, it's just a case of press the button. Once your temperature comes up here, turn the dial. The more bars you have, the colder your fridge is. Turning it right back, fridge isn't going to be that cold. Okay, again, this will all depend on your temperature outside, what you need to do with your fridge. If your beer is getting warm, simple. Turn your fridge back to cold. That isn't the only setting. You've got more settings down here. This is your fan display. There's a fan on the back of the fridge. That's automatic, don't worry about it. If the fridge is getting warm, the fan will kick up, it'll ramp up. In here we've got our settings. You have your user mode, which is basically the performance, silent, economical, or turbo. You want to get it cold, flick it to turbo. You want it to be quiet during the night, put it to silent. And then you have your settings. That's the child lock. If you've got kids, if you're running it in a family van, press that. Kids can't press buttons, can't mess around with it. This, if you leave your fridge open and you're getting the beep, you can just set that so it stops beeping. There's a CL on here. CL in the hardcore van in the compressor fridge is non-applicable, don't worry about it. That's pretty much it in a nutshell. One thing we will show you, battery is on. What I'm going to do with this, I'm going to turn on 240 volt for the fridge. Automatically switches to power. Same thing, pull out your cable outside the van. Fridge is back on battery.
Careful.
Right, next part, washing machine. On the majority of your Southern Star vans, we use a 3.5 kilo top load washing machine. The exception is the family vans come with a front load, and the big 21'6" comes with a front load as well. Okay, we put the washing machine in the center of your bathroom. Reason we put it in here, it's easy to get at, you're not leaning over your toilet, and if it ever needs to be serviced or maintained, it's easy to get out. Okay, so with your washing machine, inbuilt into it is, I suppose, something that will double up as a peg basket, but this holds the drum from moving while you travel. The same as if you bring home a brand new washing machine out of Harvey Norman or something like that, they're going to have a safety piece in place to stop the drum bashing around while you travel and while you move. That is as simple as squeeze that, lift it out. Okay, operation. This one, your water level button will tell you what kind of water is in it. You can flick through the different modes, be it temperature, time, read your manual. It depends what you're washing, depends how much you're washing, how much water you want to use. Once you have your settings done, press start, off it goes. It's an automatic washing machine. Finish with it, power off. Again, read the manual. It's very clear, it's very easy. With the washing machine, it's just standard top load washing powder, same as you use at home. Okay, the next thing we're going to move on to is the toilet. We're using a Dometic toilet, ceramic insert, very easy to operate. When you're using the toilet, you have a handle here that has to be out fully. That opens up your toilet to your cartridge and holding tank at the bottom. Flushing the toilet is this button. It's the only button on it, one black button. Flushes your toilet. When you're finished, just to stop smells coming back from your holding tank, ensure that that is in fully enclosed. Okay, flush button, and then you have 3 indicators. Top left, your cartridge isn't inserted correctly. A light will come on here. Right hand side, 2 indicators. The bottom one, your cartridge is 3/4 full. And the top one, when that lights up, your cartridge is full, time to change it. That simple. Okay, we'll just do a quick note on the shower. Look, we all know how to use the shower, but in relation to the showers in the Southern Stars, right, we use a 1-piece shower, fiberglass, operation hot and cold, we all know that. But one thing, when you're traveling, ensure that your rose head is attached to something so it's not falling off or bouncing around the place. Inside the showers there's a hatch, okay, power hatch and fan. While you're having a shower, just turn on your fan to keep the moisture out of your van, keep it way damp. Again, traveling, just make sure that's shut. In relation to traveling and your bathroom, make sure that your shower door is locked closed so it's not flapping around as you're crossing your corrugations and cruising the country. Same goes for your ensuite door. 2 elasticated clips, one top, one in the middle, stops your door from bouncing around while you travel. Okay, you hear a lot of horror stories about doors falling off rails, meeting at the entry as you're coming in. That certainly helps with that. Okay, the lounge in the Southern Star, it is real leather. Look, taking care of that, it's the same as your leather coach at home. You get leather care products, cleaning products that are specific to leather. Just make sure that you use that so that you get longevity out of the leather in your lounge. Right, cafe lounge, trifold table. They're as simple as lift and pull. That's it, it's that easy. When you're traveling, because of the suspensions that are running on your hardcores, running on your semi-off-roads, you don't have to worry about this bouncing around. It's all good. In the lounge we have leg rests. They're as simple as lift up and they click in place. Okay, one thing to make sure of, leg rests are not seats. They're not for the grandkids to sit on. They're not for an extra couple to come in and have a game of cards. They're literally leg rests. Underneath, you'll see 2 arms. If you follow those arms, at the front of that, there are 2 square buttons. You lift your leg rest, you push in the button, and that releases the catch to put your leg rest away. That's simple. It does take 1 or 2 times just to get used to it, and you're never going to forget. Coming from that, we have the windows. Right, the Ranger windows we use, you obviously have your blinds. You also have your fly screen. Great thing about these windows, magnetic catch, no clips, nothing that can break. To take them apart, they're as simple as just pop. That's it. With your windows, there's plenty of catches just to ensure they're not going to fly open when you're driving. To open them, just lift, and on each arm you've got a dial. Turn, lock that in place, let it sit where you want. Doesn't have any clicks, simple lift, turn, locked in. Couple of notes on the windows. Look, these are off-road vans, they're semi-off-road vans. You're probably going to scratch them at some stage. Don't stress too bad about it. Typically, a rub of Brasso will actually take the scratches out of the outside of your windows. Okay. Now, with your fly screens, one thing, they will keep out midgies, they will keep out mozzies. But when the lights are on at night inside the van and you're outside, you are going to get bugs, you know, beetles, creepy crawlies, things with legs. They are going to try to get in. You may run into it where they can come through the side. Now, typically what we recommend is if you're sitting outside, turn off your lights inside. They're attracted to light. They'll stay outside. As a bit of a fail-safe, maybe just give it a spray of an insect repellent. That'll keep them away. Okay, getting down to the last few bits and pieces inside your van, your hatches. Okay, the hatches operate the same as the window, fly screen, shade. One thing to note on both your windows and on your hatches, when you're traveling, leave them open. Okay, the reason being is that you're going to be bouncing up and down. When these are packed away, nothing can happen to them. Okay, operation of these, you've got 3 settings. Okay, to open them, you've got your 2 catches. There is a button on them, you do have to press it. Press the button, open your hatch. They'll open full, plenty of light, plenty of air. If you're going to go out for the day and you're not expecting too much rain, you can lock them in like that. It gives you about maybe 1 inch, 2 inches open. Look, if you're going to get rain that's coming in from the side, you've got to close that when you're out. Putting your van into storage, just to let your van breathe, get a bit of air into it, you have one more setting, which is on your handles. Lift, probably 5mm, 7mm, lock it in place, right? What that'll do, it'll just keep the air fresh in the van. Say if you've got water sitting in the bottom of your sink, maybe in your shower, it'll help with not getting damp in the van. Okay, last couple of pieces inside the van. You're going to have a smoke alarm and you're going to have a 240 trip switch. Okay, these can be located anywhere in the van. The 240 trip switch, if that's tripped, it's typically a faulty appliance, kettle, toaster or something like that. Best thing you can do, unplug your appliances, flick it back up. You're going to find out which appliance it is the next time you plug it in. Your smoke alarm, they're not hardwired, they do have a battery, same as your smoke alarm at home. Keep an eye on it, test it, change it regularly. Right, last one, your light switches. Again, these are battery operated. They do come away. The reason that they're battery operated is because of the composite roof. It's very hard to wire. You can't get a cable from the door to the light here, so they are Bluetooth wireless light switches. Again, if they stop working, there is batteries in the back of those. Plain and simple, you get them in Coles, Bunnings, pop them back in, change the batteries, you're back in life. Okay, the next thing we're going to look at is the external operation of the van. We'll start off with your door. Okay, so what we're using is the Kamek doors. Right, your key. When you lock it, that handle goes in. When you unlock it, it comes out. Look, now and again you may run into the handle being out and the door won't open. Typically, close it, open it again, that'll get it open. Right, your doors, you've got a handle to hold it back. So if you want to keep it open, you know, you're sitting outside, you're going in, grabbing a drink from the fridge, that will hook on back here. Right, you do have a fly screen. To get your doors apart, take your handle, hold it up fully and separate them. That easy. Right. At night, if you want to sleep and have your door open, fly screen closed, you can. You know, it is a security door. Don't worry about it, don't stress about it. They are a triple lock security door. 1, 2, 3. Okay, if you're struggling to get it closed, typically open it, close it again. All it means is that one of your 3 locks just hasn't engaged properly. That's it. It is that simple. Okay, outside we have 3 external lights. One is at your door, on, off. There is also a night light, a third setting, where you have a blue light that you'll see on your finger once you engage it. Your external lights, they're operated from inside your van, just inside the door. Again, on, off. That easy. Okay, moving along the van, the next one is our external TV hatch. Okay, inside in this we have our TV bracket, 2 240 power points, again 2 USBs, charger phones, charger external speaker, whatever it may be. You've got a 12-volt cigarette lighter socket, again that's to power your TV when you're looking at it out here, and here is your aerial. Okay, mounting your TV is as simple as lift the whole piece, including the arm from inside, line them up, slide them in your bracket, plug them in. It is that easy. Right, the hatches, doesn't matter if it's this hatch, every hatch around the van, they do have an adjustable handle on them. And when I say adjustable, you may find that over time the nuts on the back of your lock become a little bit loose and they're not closing fully. Okay, all you need to do, open your hatch, tighten it back up, because these hatches are vacuum sealed. You do have to give them a good push and they will squeeze in to close. On the off chance that you're getting a bit of moisture coming through, a bit of silicone spray on your rubber seal, that does help, along with tightening it up. Okay, with the hatches, to lock them, you do have to give them a good press. You'll hear the click, you'll know that they're ready to go. Okay, that's your TV hatch. Over here is your picnic table. They all come with a picnic table. To operate that, it is one of the keys that are on your keyring. It is a safety feature that you do lock it just so that they don't open while you travel. Again, unlock, drop down. These have about a 20 kilo rating. Again, it is typically written on it. Tables do vary, but a typical 20 kilos is a good rule of thumb. Again, add it to your list of things to lock just before you put off. Okay, just having a look at your tyres and your suspension. We just have to have a quick talk about that, and I suppose mainly it's about safety and it's about maintenance. Okay, when your Caravan leaves titanium, your wheel nuts, being steel wheel nuts, into an alloy wheel have been tightened to 130 Newton meters of torque. Again, just before they leave Caravans Coffs Coast, we have again tightened them to 130 Newton meters of torque. After 500 kilometers, and after 1,000 kilometers, we recommend that you do the same. If you don't have a torque wrench, socket, wheel brace, just give them a tighten. Okay? Your tires on the hardcore off-roaders, being a big mud terrain tire, we set them at 45 psi when they leave here. The semi-off-roaders we set at 40 psi because it's a light truck all-terrain tire. Again, tire pressures, everybody has their own thoughts on that. Again, tire pressures you set suited to the condition of the road that you're going down. If you're going to cross corrugations, we all know that you leave some air pressure out of your car tires. You do the same with your van. Okay, it takes a bit of the vibration and the cushioning off the road and protects your van. Okay. Cruisemaster suspensions, be it the CRS2 Cruisemaster XT coil or the Cruisemaster ATX, they recommend a wheel alignment after 1,500 kilometers. Wheel alignments can be carried out by any heavy vehicle mechanic. Okay, be it truck mechanic, something like that. Okay, speaking of jacking, on the off chance that you get a puncture, all of the Cruisemaster suspensions, CRS2, XT coil and the ATX, they have individual jacking points for each wheel. You don't jack your van up, your wheels will stay on the ground. They are independent, they move up and down. So So underneath on each suspension, there's a point, circular disc welded in place that you put your jack into. Jacks vary, there's different types of jacks work. The one that we recommend is the Kojak jack. We do sell them here, so that when you come to pick it up, you can get one from us or buy one online, up to yourself. So if we have a look underneath it, this is the XT. Regardless of what suspension it is, the jacking points look the exact same. Circular steel disc welded in place at the bottom of the arm. You jack each wheel individually to get them up off the ground. Okay, one thing to keep in mind, when you're doing that, ensure that your van is hooked to the car. Okay, it's a safety precaution. Can't roll away while you're under the van, can't roll away while you have a wheel off. Okay, keep it on the car. Okay, in your tunnel boot, when you get your van, two things. This, it's for operating your awning. This, it's for operating the legs on your caravan. Okay? One of the biggest things in your tunnel boot is your compliance plate. This is the details of your van and the weights of your van. Okay? The other thing in there is your gas compliance plate, but the main thing are the weights. The weights of your caravan are your tear weight. The tear weight of the van is your van with all the accessories that you have asked for, weighed at the factory, dry. No gas, no water, the van as it sits. Next to that is your ATM. The ATM is the weight of your caravan sitting in your driveway, not hooked to your car, with everything that you have put in it. Typically, depending on the model, the semi-off-roads have an ATM of 3.3 ton. That means you have the weight of your van, everything you put into it, that cannot exceed 3.3 ton sitting in your driveway, not hooked to your car. The ATM on a hardcore is typically 3.5 ton. Again, the weight of the van, everything you put in it, sitting in your driveway, is not to exceed 3.5 ton. That is regardless of what your car can tow. The vans, the rating are on them. If you have any questions after you get your van or a little unsure of that, give me a call. Call the office, ask for Eric, I'll explain it quite easy. Okay. The other weight is your ball weight. The tear weight does include the ball weight. The ATM does include the ball weight. Right? When you hook your car to your caravan, that ball weight transfers to your car and comes out of your car's payload. One of the most important weights in caravanning is the GCM. That's the gross combined mass. The gross combined mass is the weight of your car attached to your van with all your bits and pieces in your van. Water, gas, food, luggage, plus the weight of your car with you in it, plus your passengers and anything else you have put into your car. That includes aftermarket accessories, bull bars, roof racks, trays, canopies, sliding drawers. It is the most important weight in your caravan. That's the gross combined mass. Typically, read your manual. Some cars, they have a 6 ton gross combined mass. Some have a 6.5. Some have less, some have 5 ton. Every car is different. Again, give us a call, read your car manuals. It's very, very important to keep you safe and to keep the other users of the road safe. Okay, we're going to have a look at the front of the Caravans. We'll start, look, your spotlight, handy hitching up in the dark, also doubles as a barbecue light. Your SS and your hardcores come standard with the side opening toolboxes. These are designed to store your Weber and store your generator on the other side. One thing to keep in mind, generator Weber cannot be used while in your box. Gas bayonet for your Weber, just under your front tunnel boot. One thing to keep in mind with the Weber and the generator slides, these blue handles, they release your slide. Once you release it, stop holding them because you'll pull the slide out of its tracks. The hardcores come standard with a stone guard. Sitting on the front, you've got two 9 kilo gas bottles. They'll be delivered full. With your gas bottles, behind here you have a two-way valve. It points to the gas bottle in use. Don't run the two of them at once. You're going to end up out of gas and stuck. As soon as one is empty, flick it across, switch to the other bottle, get your other one full. Okay, so we'll have a look at the towing apparatus. So basically what we're using is the DO35 Cruisemaster hitch. This is the same across the hardcore and the hardcore ATX. Okay, it's a little bit different from a standard hitch that you'd see. One thing in particular is the handbrake. It's a standard ratchet handbrake, much easier to use than, say, the handbrake on a typical 50mm ball hitch. Keep in mind, this handbrake is not as strong as the handbrake on a car. Don't disengage your van from your car without putting in chocks underneath your wheels, which are supplied in your starter pack. The DO35 comes supplied with a DO35 pin. To engage that, it comes up through the hitch. You're pressing this red button and there's a plate that slides into a groove. The idea behind these hitches is that you have full articulation up, down, left, right, so that your car and van can move independently. To disengage, push in your red pin, slide your plate, take out your hitch. To see it without it, this plate slides in, goes into this groove, keeps your car and trailer together. One thing to keep in mind, this is a dust cap. The dust cap will not engage on your DO35 hitch unless your pin is locked in place. You start from the back, clip it to the front, and what it does is in off-road travel, dusty conditions keeps dust out of the moving parts of your DO35 hitch. Right, moving on to the front of the van, you've got a standard jockey wheel. When your car is attached to your van, you have to take off your jockey wheel. It's not good enough to just wind it up as far as you can. Do take it off. Also on the front of the van is your brake safe. This cable attaches to the back of your car. It does not attach to the part where your chains are attached to. Put it under your car, find a hole, link it in. What this does is that each Caravan has a battery that engages your brakes if on the off chance your car and Caravan become detached from each other. This cord pulls out this pin which engages the brakes on your van. You have about 30 minutes to get your van into a safe state through chocks, handbrake, so that you can get back together and get back on the road. To turn off your brake safe, just simply put that pin back in. When you get your Caravan from Caravans Coffs Coast, we will supply rated shackles. Keep using these shackles. In the off chance that you lose them, give us a call, find out exactly which ones you need to get. Don't just pick any shackle. These are rated, they're designed for your van. The electrics running off the front of your van, you have your 12-pin plug. You should have received a 12-pin plug wiring diagram. Ensure that your car is linked up like that, and also an Anderson plug. What the Anderson plug does, it charges your battery from your car as you drive. Again, lights, same as any trailer. In these pins, they vary from van to van. The semi-off-roads are different to the hardcores. Follow the plan that you've been given. So one thing we need to just talk about is the first time you're going taking your van out, and I suppose each and every time after that, is when you're connected, your car, your van, you do need to have your van and your car pretty level. Okay, slightly nose down, that's okay, but having the back of your van down and the front of the van up, look, you can't be running around like that. Okay, so car and van, they do have to be level. Okay, one thing that can help with that is a weight distribution system. Any van, when it's loaded, you need to have between 7 to 10% of your ball weight in relation to the ATM of the van. So we'll say theoretically your van sitting at an ATM is at 3 ton. You need to be aiming for about 270 to 300 on your ball. Okay, that will keep the van stable on the road. You're not going to get swayed when you're running weights like that. Approximately 60% of the weight of your van should be in front of the axles. Okay, that will help with achieving your 7 to 12% of ball weight. Now, we do recommend weight distribution, okay, as long as your car manufacturer allows weight distribution to be used on your van. Right? The brakes are another thing that we need to talk about. When you get your new van and you get it home, your brakes won't have been bedded in fully. Your brake controller is what is going to come into play. Okay, so the first time you take your van out, you're going to have your brake controller turned up pretty high. As the brakes bed in, you can adjust your brake controller back. Okay, what you don't want to have happen is when you press your brakes, the van is pulling your car back, and the opposite, when you hit your brake, you don't want your van pushing your car forward. You need your car's brakes and your van's brakes to come on at the same time, at the same pressure. Okay, it will take time for your van's brakes to bed in and adjust your brake controller accordingly. The other thing we do recommend is after about 500 kilometers, take your van to a brake shop and just have your brakes checked, have your brakes serviced. You know, roughly after about 500 kilometers of travel. Stored in this side of your box. Do not run your generator in this position. It's not safe. Take it off, take it away from your caravan so that your lead is coming back plugged into the side of your van. This is for storage only. Okay, coming over to the other side of the van, there's still a few bits and pieces that are happening over here that you need to know about. This is your hot water system. From van to van, the location of this can be different. Can be up here, can be at the back, but look, at the same time, your hot water system is all the same. We've shown you how to use it inside. It's gas or electric, nothing to do here. Coming across to this, we have 2 cable inlets. Sometimes you'll come across a caravan park where your TV reception is really, really poor. Caravan parks will have a big mast in the air and they'll have a lead coming to each site. Clip it on there. That's where you're going to get your TV signal from. This is your 15 amp inlet. Again, if you're in a caravan park and want to plug yourself into power, it's in through this. Okay, one thing to keep in mind, we will supply you with a 15 amp lead, but a 15 amp lead will not plug into a home socket. You do have to get an adapter. Mitre 10, Bunnings, these kind of places have that. Tanks, water filler. Okay, as I said earlier, we are using balanced tanks. They do fill and drain at the same time. Depending on what model you have, will be how many fillers you have. In this 19'6", both tanks are at the front. They're right next to each other, so they will fill easily from one filler. When you have tanks, one in front of the axle, one behind, you get 2 fillers, just because you can get an airlock between the two, so it allows you to fill the 2 tanks without any dramas. Okay, again, you do have a key for that. Coming back here, still on your water, underneath, protected behind the mudguard, is your mains water in. Keep in mind, this doesn't fill your tanks. It's wholly and solely to pressurize your system when you're on mains water. Right next to that, we have our grey water tank outlet. If you're in a caravan park, leave the red valve open, connect your solid hose straight to this, and connect it to where the caravan park have told you to run your grey water. National parks, areas that you have to collect your grey water, simply close it. Your sinks, your shower, your washing machine will stay in the grey water tank. When you're coming out of where you are, find somewhere responsible where you can dispose of it. Council websites, things like that, have areas that you can have information on their websites where you can dispose of grey water. With the compressor fridge, to help with dust ingress, what we do is we put 2 hatches at the back of your fridge. One here and one at the top. What it'll do, it'll help your fridge perform better. You get air circulation behind it. When you pull up, when you turn on your fridge, open your hatches. Again, it eliminates the need for us to put a vent, but you do have to open those hatches. Be aware. When you turn your fridge on, open your hatch. It gets the heat out. It helps your fridge perform. There's also a whirlybird on the roof. That's doing the same job, but for optimal performance of your fridge, open your hatch. Now, shared job. Every second day, take it in turns. Empty the toilet. Okay, with the toilet, underneath here, you have a handle. That disengages and allows you to pull your cartridge out. If you ever find that your cartridge is stuck, it won't come out, there's a silver lever on the toilet on the inside. The chances are that hasn't been closed properly. Okay, when your toilet cartridge comes out, simple, take him for a walk, off he goes. Again, shared job, you both got to do it. Get to your dump point, you're opening this, you're connecting your hose, and when you go to dump it, this button here releases the pressure in the cartridge and allows it to empty. Okay, once you have it empty, a couple of litres of water into it, close it up, give it a shake, give it a wash, again dump that, and when you're finished, put in your chemical, be it the Blue Loo, the Thetford, a sachet, dump it through the spout, close it back up, and back in. Now, one thing to keep in mind, if this gets dirty in here, do not hose it out. It's not sealed for water. The best thing to do, damp cloth, wipe it over, and good to go. It's an automatic seal. As soon as you put it back in, slide it in place, you'll hear the click, you're good to go again. Caravan stabilizing. Each corner has a heavy duty stabilizing leg. These must be up for travel. Sounds silly, but you'd be surprised. Okay, to operate these, you're supplied with a brace that simply goes through the handle and wind. Okay, what it'll do, it'll lift your leg so far. The handle, simply pull it out and lift the leg up until it locks in place. All 4 legs, just go around, double check them twice. Okay, simple thing, reverse when you come and you're parking up. Drop your leg. And wind it until you have some tension. Keep in mind, these are not for jacking your caravan. They're simply for stabilizing the van so that when you're walking around inside your van after you've set up, that your van isn't rocking and rolling and moving. The next thing we're going to look at is the operation of the awning. Each Southern Star caravan comes with a Dometic awning. You'll find this tool in your tunnel boot. Right, the idea of this is to catch your strap, to pull it out, and to clip your release, which releases the awning to allow you to pull it out. Okay, when you're putting out your awning, there's 2 safety pieces on each arm. Your catch, release that, and behind here, you've got a nut that you just spin. Right, release that on this one, release it on that one, and then you come to here. Up here is an in and out clip. All it does is just releases the awning. So pull them down. The awning is now engaged so that it will come out. Catch your strap, give it a pull. Okay, so with your awnings, ensure that you don't pull them out all the way. Give yourself a little bit of play. It'll mean that it's not going to get caught and you're not going to end up having to wind your barrel by hand and get yourself into a bit of trouble. Right, once you're in this position, there are arms. Okay, they simply slide in and out. Now, them sliding in and out, this is the clip that we've released to allow them to slide. Push them forward, clip them in place, put a bit of tension on the arm, and wind up here. This will keep your awning nice and tight. When you're at that point, the handle back here, catch that, and slide it up to where you want it. One thing to keep in mind, with that handle, keep an eye on how far it's going. If you take it too far, you can lift the arm out of its runner. It's just one thing to keep in mind. Right. Now, if you're pulling up for an afternoon, having a break, it's quite okay to just leave your awning out on the arms. But if you're going to set up for a couple of days, set up for a week, it's not a bad idea to take your awning arms off the van and peg them into the ground. You have a catch just here that keeps your awning arm in place. Release that. Stand your awning up where you want it. There are two holes in the bottom of the leg. Peg it in. Now, the next thing that isn't a bad idea at all to do, and we do highly recommend it, is put a guy rope from the corner into the ground. Now, the reason that we recommend that is in the off chance you're out for the day, a big wind kicks in. The worst that can happen, if all your arms, all your legs are safe, you may tear your awning. Easily replaceable, inexpensive to replace in comparison to a leg or an arm. Okay, it's a good recommendation. Get into the habit of sticking in a guy rope. Okay, putting them away, it's the same, it's just the reverse of what you did. Release your arm. Oh, sorry. Release your arm, slide it away. Catch your lever. Bring your awning down as far as it will go. And this clip that we used earlier to release, we flick it the opposite way. Now it's in the roll-in position. Okay, as your awning goes back, all of the Southern Star vans have an awning support in the center of the van. This guy here. The idea behind that is if you're in rough road conditions and your awning is bouncing, the center of it is protected. Keep in mind, that needs to be kept relatively clean, because if it's rubbing against your awning, you may get staining. Again, when you finish your trip, bring it home, give that a wipe. Putting it away. Again, locking it up as you travel. Wind your arm and lock them in at the back. Put in your safety clips. Awning done and away. Okay, now we're in the semi-off-road models. We have a couple of differences between the semi-off-road and the hardcore and ATX. I think one of the big ones is the fridge. We're running a 3-way fridge in the semi-off-road models. The other one is the charger. down underneath your seat we have a different charging system, and the last one is in the range hood is above the range hood, which is a different solar charge controller. Okay, I suppose we'll have a look at the fridge and the operation of that first before we move into the charging. Okay, it looks the exact same as the compressor fridge. Holding the button to turn your fridge on. Okay, we have a temperature setting, we have watts powering your fridge, and again we have our settings at the bottom. Fan, right, going to go into our temperature, up or down. The more bars you have, the colder your fridge is. Power, three-way fridge, it runs on three things. It runs on gas, it runs on electricity, 240, or it runs off your car as you travel. One thing to keep in mind before you take off on any trip, your fridge needs to get cold, because your car won't get your fridge cold. Your car will maintain the temperature the fridge is at. What we recommend doing is the night before you head away, turn on your fridge, get it cold on 240, and you're good to go. Okay, selection. These are automatic fridges, but on the off chance you want to override the selection that the fridge is making, you can do that. You've got 240, you've got battery, and you have gas. To select the mode you want, press the button in, it goes to what you want, go back to return. Okay, now our fridge is running on gas.
It's automatic light.
Automatically lit. Right, if you don't go working on these settings and you just turn your fridge on, what your fridge will do is it will automatically look for 240 volt. When 240 volt is unavailable, it automatically switches across. It's looking for your car. Once it finds that the car isn't available, it'll start trying to light on gas. For it to light on gas, you obviously need to have your gas bottles open and your gas running. It'll click a couple of times, it'll light. If it can't find gas, it's the third in line, it'll turn itself back off. So you have to have 240 in, or you have to have your gas open to get your fridge going. Okay, gas is for free camping, 240 is in a caravan park. The third, which is the car battery, running off your car, that's for when you're traveling. Again, look, we can't say it enough, your car will not get your fridge cold, get it cold the night before. Okay. The charging system on the semi off-roads. Underneath here we have a 20 amp standard 240 charger by Inverters. When you're plugged into 240 power, this charger will charge your batteries. That's all it does, nothing fancy, it's a battery charger. Okay, it's plugged into mains, powered on, ready to go. Again, same thing, if you're going to run your aircon on a generator, it's a good idea to turn that battery charger off so you don't have too much power draw, which may trip your generator. Okay, last difference inside on the semi off-roads. An Inverters solar charge controller. This is a 30 amp controller. It's a bit different to what's running in the hardcores. Again, this is a set and forget piece of equipment. You can press your menu button, it'll flick through, it'll tell you what's happening. Okay. Battery voltage. The semi off-roaders are running two 120 amp deep cycle batteries. They're located on the chassis in a chassis box. This guy is going to charge those batteries from the solar panels on your roof. Okay. It'll keep sequencing through. Again, nothing to do with it, just have a look. It'll tell you what's happening with the battery, what's happening with the solar, and where it's all at. Again, if you want to get technical and have a bit of a read and see what this thing can do, have a read of the manual. But look, we do recommend it's set and forget. Keep it easy. Okay, two more pieces of equipment that are underneath your seat. They're in both the semi and the hardcore, and probably one of the most important things in your van is your breakaway system. So the breakaway system, it has a separate battery to what's in your van running your 12 volt system. Now what we advise is to keep the setting on battery charger, which is here. Okay, that means every time your van is plugged in, your brake safe battery is being charged. So when you take off the next time, you know that you're going to have power on that. Right, what we do recommend is just before you take off on any journey, just press the test button, which is the green button just here. When you press that, you've got a green indicator that shows that your battery is good, your brake safe system is working properly. Okay, last thing, if you order a Club Lounge model van, be it the 21'6" or the 20'6", they now come standard with the Nova Mappa table leg. One of the coolest things to come out in caravans in quite some time. The operation of this is very, very simple. You have a handle in the corner, give it a squeeze, and it releases the top of the table, where you can move it left, right, in and out. The other beauty of this is that it also frees up the top so it can spin. And as soon as you release the handle, table locks in. Best thing about this is that it also doubles up as a bed. Make your bed. At the bottom of the table leg there's a foot pedal. That foot pedal releases the leg, which allows it to drop in place. So as simple as line up the top, foot on the foot pedal, push it down. All the Club Lounge models, they come standard with a tick cushion. Pop it in place, bed is done, Nana gets to go on holidays with you too. Word of warning, mind your shins at night, can be very sore. Okay, opposite, turning it back into a lounge. Catch your handle, pull out your table, and as simple as stand on the foot pedal. Done. Easy. Okay, the last thing I suppose we need to talk about, need to look at, is warranty and servicing. Okay, if you have any warranty issues, give us a call or give Titanium a call directly, either or. We work in unison, we're a partnership. Now, one thing is for certain, that if you run into issues with your appliances, it is 100% definitely quicker and easier to speak to the manufacturer of the appliance, be it Dometic, Swift, Houghton. They have service agents all around the country. They'll direct you where to go in an instant. But look, again, give us a call, give Titanium a call. We're more than happy to help. Your warranty terms and conditions, they're on the USB that's supplied in your Bible. Okay, maintaining your warranty, one of the big things with it is your van needs to be serviced every 6 months. Okay, what happens in a service, it's in your book. It can be serviced from any reputable service caravan centre. Okay, you don't have to bring it to us, you don't have to take it to Melbourne. You can get it serviced absolutely anywhere. At the end of the day, you're buying a mobile unit, you could be in Broome. Right, you don't have to come to Coffs, you don't have to come to Melbourne. Right, again, all your warranty is in here. Plug it into your laptop. Your manuals for each appliance, they're on here, as are the warranty terms and conditions.